What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny. Today I'm going to do a video I've been talking about, I've been wanting to do for a while. And today I'm going to do a spotlight on King Creole. Seeing that it's the 60th anniversary of the film and the album soundtrack. So I want to just jump right into it, and I'm going to give some information along the way about the film and the music. And I'll show the releases I have corresponding with King Creole. Alright. So King Creole. King Creole was Elvis's fourth film of his career, last one of the 1950s, and his last one to be in black and white. And also, it really was one of his longest movies out of all his scripted films. It was almost 2 hours. It's 115 minutes. So yeah. So first, let's talk about the film. Alright, so the film King Creole is based off the book A Stone from Danny Fisher from 1952 from the author Harold Robbins. In 1955, Hal Wallace, the producer, he acquired the rights to the movie. Seeing that, I think it was some sort of play. I don't know if it was necessarily a Broadway play, but it was a play of some sort. So I guess Hal Wallace wanted to try it as a movie. His first pick was James Dean, as I think a lot of people know, that James Dean was the one chosen to be in this film. But sadly, of course, that didn't happen because he passed away because he was in a fatal car accident in 1955. Really, after I think the last movie he was in was Giant with Elizabeth Taylor and someone else. But yeah, so James Dean, of course, he passed away, couldn't do it. So the movie was on hold. So then, 56 coming around, 57, Elvis is around, he's big. So I guess when Hal Wallace started working with Elvis, I guess he saw potential and Elvis being in the movie King Creole. And I'm assuming that the original title of the movie was going to be A Stone for Danny Fisher. And the original story is, like the book, is that it's based on a teenager who's a boxer out of New York, and he gets caught up in the crime scene. And honestly, I would like to read that book. I would like to try to get a copy of that book and try to read it. I'm just curious how good the book is and all that. So, and he's like, he's involved with women, which of course is in this two loves in this movie. So I guess he thought of Elvis would be a good choice as Danny Fisher. So they rewrote it a little bit. They moved the location to being in New Orleans, and except for being a boxer, is a singer. I guess the best suit Elvis, obviously, because he's a singer. So around the time right before they were going to start filming in January, in December of 57, right before Christmas, Elvis got his induction notice into the U.S. Army from the military. So it kind of threw a little wrench inside the production of King Creole. So the studio, and I guess Elvis's people, talked with the military to see if they can put a hold on his service for the U.S. Army. And I guess they agreed. So between January and March, there was a 60-day hold on his service for the military to start doing the film, which he recorded all the music in that time and, of course, made the whole film. And the film was filmed on location in the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana. And then other scenes were filmed in the LA studio, the Paramount studio in LA. So, and supporting Elvis in the movie was a really strong cast at the time. There was Walter Matthau. There was Caroline Jones, which she was also in Addams Family. The Addams Family. She played the wife, and I can't remember the wife's name. So I used to watch the cartoon series when I was a kid. But anyways, she was in the Addams Family, and Dolores Hart, who, excuse me, previously starred with him in Loving You as his co-lady. So, and now, if anyone knows about Dolores Hart, I think she's like in her 80s now, around 62, 63. Dolores Hart decided to become a nun full-time. So still to this day, she's a full-time nun doing that. So, and if you watch this film, which I love classic movies, if anyone knows me, I go, side story, I just go like, I go to TCM Fathom events a lot. And I enjoy classic movies, and I watch TCM, the channel. Love that stuff. But if you watch the movie, there's a lot of actors in this film that were in past great films. Like there's the kid His name is Dummy in here. He has like he someone sound like he has like a speech impediment or something. They call him Dummy in this movie, and he was actually in Rebel Without a Cause without James Dean. If you watch that movie, and the guy who plays Shark in here, I guess kind of like the leader of the gang. He was in Blackboard Jungle with, what's his name? Glenn Ford and Sidney Poitier, who was a great actor. And there's other ones. There's other actors in there, like one of the club owners, and the one who plays Elvis's father. They were in a lot of good movies. I think they were in, is it The Longest Day or D-Day or something? One of those movies from earlier, like I guess when they were younger in their career, probably 15, 20 years younger. So those guys are probably in their 40s. In this film, maybe almost 50. But there's a lot of good other actors in here. There really is. So Elvis filmed it over the course of part of January into March. The film wrapped up. Then 2 weeks after the film wrapped up, Elvis was inducted into the U.S. Army. And then that was it really for us, for Elvis, until he come back in 1960. But as he was gone, we got music releases. And we got this film and the soundtrack. So then the movie opened up in July 2nd. I think it premiered in New York at a Lowe's State Theater, from what I understand. On July 2nd, 1958, the movie was released in theaters. I think it became number 5 at the box office, the earning box office that week it came out. And upon its release, Elvis got some of the best reviews as far as his acting went. A lot of people really praised him in this, and it's to be known that Elvis really enjoyed making this movie, because he had like a great director with stuff under his belt. The director was Michael Curtis. I don't know if I said that already, but the director of this film was Michael Curtis also, and he did a lot of great films earlier. For example, I think he did The Adventures of Robin Hood starring Errol Flynn, Yankee Doodle Dandy with James Cagney, and probably the most famous one for him was Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. So I think Elvis is very proud to have people like who had seniority in the film and acting industry, with him in this film. But it really was a good quality movie. This is actually one of my favorite Elvis movies. It's up there. I would say I think I have a top 10 list. It's probably in the top 5, I would say. Not number 1, but it's up there. And I think a lot of people like this movie because it's a young rockin' Elvis too. Everybody likes a young rockin' Elvis. So very good movie. Very good acting in it. Story keeps you interested the whole time. It's one of the better quality movies. Better than the ones he would do after he gets back from the army in 1960. We all know the story with those films. So King Creole. That's really what I got on information on King Creole. So hopefully maybe you found some new stuff you didn't know. But this is my DVD of King Creole. As you see, it has GI Blues on the other side. But it came in this movie box set. There's an 8-film collection called Lights, Camera, Elvis Collection. It's like in a blue suede box set. It's pretty cool. Had this for a lot of years. Had all the movies in here. So there's a film right there. And I really wish they would come out with more of his movies on Blu-ray. I would buy them all and sell these off. It'd be nice to see. Besides, they only have a few, and like Love Me Tender, it looks amazing on Blu-ray. But anyways, so that's as far as the visual part and movie information and facts I have about the movie and the history of King Creole and the making of it. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So next, I'm going to talk about the music part. So before the movie came out in July of 58, they dropped a single in June of 58. They released the first single off the album, the soundtrack, I mean, and it was this. I have an original copy of the single King Creole. The single Hard-Headed Woman with Don't Ask Me Why. Hard-Headed Woman made number 1 on the charts, and I think Don't Ask Me Why was like number 25. So this is an original sleeve in beautiful shape. Had this for a good amount of years. Really don't get much better than this. And this actually was the first rock and roll song to be awarded a gold record from the RIAA. Because this is around the time where they actually started tracking album sales. to award artists with gold records, platinum records, whatever. So, yep. So this is the original single of Hard Headed Woman. And I'll show you the vinyl real quick, which is in good shape. There's a Hard Headed Woman side. And there is the Don't Ask Me Why side. So, good stuff. So then, July, the movie came out. And for whatever reason, which I think is super weird, they waited almost 2 months to release the soundtrack. Actually, maybe like 2 months and a week to release the original soundtrack, which I have. And you know, this is one of my oldest albums I have in my collection. One of my oldest albums and one of the ones in best shape. So I have an original copy of the soundtrack album, King Creole. There's the original catalog number. It's in beautiful shape. I can't stress it out enough. It's an album you've got to see in person. The only thing is it has staining on the back. That's the only really big thing. There's no wear to the cover. There's no like dirtiness of the cover. There's just a little bit of spotting on the top now. But you know, it's an original album. It's like whoever owned this, and the vinyl is just as good, didn't play it. It's like they just bought it, maybe played it once. There's no wear on the seams anywhere. And I had this in my collection for a while. This is one of the first. This goes way back when I started collecting Elvis, and I want to say I paid like $75 for it. The only thing I'm missing from this is the original bonus photo that came with it. I don't think it came. I don't know if it came in the album or they gave it to you maybe when you purchased this album. But it's a picture of Elvis, like in sort of like a military type of portrait thing. So yeah. So that's the only thing I'm missing. Hopefully I'll acquire that one day. And this album also came out on EP. It was spread. I think it was spread across 2 EPs. And you know, I just announced recently that I finished my Elvis collection. So, but I only specialize in certain EPs. This album I do not specialize in EP because I used to have the volume 2 of it. It's like a blue cover. I want to get it again. I'll get it one day. But the volume 1 looks just like this cover. So I really don't major in the breaking up of the movie soundtrack EPs. You know? Just if it has a different cover. But anyways. So yeah, this is King Creole. And it reached number 2 in the charts. And it came out in September of '58, like I said. And I think the only reason I could think of why they did do that is so that to keep the anticipation of Elvis releases for fans to keep buying while Elvis is away until 1960. So this is my copy of King Creole. I'll show it one more time. And I'll show the vinyl real quick. Really quick. Because it looks like it's never been played. There's no wear on the labels. It's just beautiful. This is side 1. Okay. Look at the label. And look at the reflection on that thing. Just only like surface scuffs. But it's a beautiful copy. And this has been released various times on reissue from FTD, Friday Music, and everything. So it's a beautiful copy. And as far as CD, I do not have a standalone CD of King Creole. I would like to get one. I think I want to get the FTD one. There's only a few FTDs I'm missing of his main stuff, and this is one of them. So I do plan on getting that. But I do have the soundtrack through other releases, including the bonus song Danny, that was recorded during these sessions. But you know what? I think that's it. I'm going to keep it at that. Hope you all enjoyed my little spotlight on the 60th anniversary of King Creole. So that's it, people. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this. And I will see you all very soon. See you later. Bye.